7:02.
All right.
So this is going to be, what we're going to do is budget related, but it's not actually
Operating.
right. We had jumped the gun a little as far as the operating budget, but that's okay. It's good to get a good start on it. So what we're going to talk about are our budget things, so that we're not here all night, and then I'm gonna propose something that I've done in the past when I was the chairman, was to take a run at the budget and then bring it to the board and have everybody go through the numbers, rather than go line by line, because we could be here for 3 meetings if we go line by line.
That's lucky.
Yeah. So what I've done in the past, if you want me to, if not, then I won't.
You do it the way you want, and I'll follow.
But
Let me just ask,
go ahead.
I know that the budget comes out, we go before the select board, or someone does, and that's usually around April or March.
You're volunteering. Thank you, Paula.
No, but I wouldn't be caught dead. But anyway, I know that you do your taxes,
Yep.
so you may not be here.
Right.
So he has to know the budget. And
We all have to
maybe
know the
we
budget.
know a little bit, because sometimes we're like deer in
No,
headlights.
no. I'm not trying to
No.
do the budget. Believe me, I'd rather not. But an hour of my time, I'm looking at prior year's numbers and putting in numbers, and then trying to get things like income. If somebody would like to do that, they could talk to Boston Tavern and see what they feel is going to be for this year as compared to like last year. Are there going to be more events, less events?
Well, I think there'll be assignments, because there's gonna be a 3% increase in payroll over there, so we gotta, we have to take all
Where?
of that into
Oh, yeah.
consideration.
Where? At,
Our
The town
2
department.
employees.
okay.
So things like that we need to find out.
Right, but we can't do that until we get...
No. I'm just saying next year.
Right.
We can find out more once we get the information.
And,
Yep.
and the Boston Tavern question was about,
About the income projection.
yeah.
I mean, we need to base it on something. We can't just say, well, this is what we got, this is
Right.
what we're gonna get,
Do you know what they came across this year
You know what,
so far?
Did
It
you
was
print up
said
that?
that they were gonna go for $1 million this year, but
Oh, I-
Did I print out what?
huh?
the budget information that came from Todd,
Yes. It should be there.
this, I
Yeah, it
also,
is.
yes, there it is. So, what, just, we're gonna get ahead of ourselves, but that's okay.
Yeah.
If you have a question, we're gonna address it.
Yeah.
If you go down, let's see, about halfway, you'll see hall rental. So fiscal year 2022 is what we're in right now.
And their busy season's coming up, October, November, December.
October, November starts to tail, but October is a huge month. I mean, they were having weddings on a Monday and weddings on a Thursday. So
But then you get a lot of Christmas parties too.
Did you see?
not as many as you
Hall
think.
rental?
Okay.
What else makes you think?
1, 2, 3, 4,
It's on the
5,
other- it's
6,
About halfway down.
It's the other, that's
10
the
down.
expenses,
Hall
you
rental.
want revenue.
Let me just get,
No, that's the expenses.
That's expenses too. Look under here.
Where you put the mark?
maybe it's here.
That's all right, because he printed me out one and I printed that
Oh.
out, so we have
The
two.
print
Same
is,
thing.
okay, here we go.
It's small, yeah. I have
Very
strong
small.
glasses.
Thank you.
Very small.
Um,
I tried to blow it up. So if you go about halfway, you'll see hall rental.
Yeah,
Okay.
2022.
So if you go to 2022, that's the number so far this year.
That's all they, for us?
That's through
September?
September probably. That's only July, August, September. It's only 3 months.
Oh, for 3 months.
Fiscal year, remember?
I forgot.
not through
I forgot. So that's good. That looks good.
Actually, no, wait a minute, I take that back.
No.
Fiscal year 2022
Yeah,
ended
right.
in June.
This is for,
Yeah,
So this was coming
July.
out of COVID.
right.
yeah,
This was the year coming out of COVID.
So
The year that ended in June.
July,
So what we don't have are the actual year to date for 2023. We'll have to get that before we tackle all this. But, so that's what we got last year, last fiscal year, going from July to June. Was a tad bit better than 21.
Yeah,
If you look at 21 right next to it, a little bit better.
a lot better.
That was COVID,
Yeah,
okay?
okay.
And then the next one is the bar rental. And then 3 down from that is the food services lodge. Those
Why
are
do
the
they
3.
divide it all up?
Well, that's the way it's been done.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I would think they would just give you one price bar, you know, the whole shebang.
Well, because the way it used to be done, okay, and these account numbers are being carried over from the way it always was we had 3 items of income. We had the rental of the building, and then the food service was our gratuity that's added on to the food service. So that was a separate number that could fluctuate. If you rented the hall and didn't have food, we wouldn't get anything but the hall rental. And the number down below that, I'm sorry, that's the food service portion, and the number in the middle is the bar rental. That's the percentage we get from the bar.
Okay.
Okay, so that's why there's 3 items, because the bar was one thing, bar was one thing, the food service commission
Okay.
was another thing, and the
Yes.
hall rental was a third thing.
Yeah. Food
So that's
service.
why it's split into 3.
Okay, so that, when you total those
That's what we
3
got.
up for the,
79, 80,
2022.
92,
yeah.
92 and change.
92 and change, 92,000. So that wasn't so bad,
No, but it's not good compared to what we used to get.
really?
Well, go back and look at 17, 18, 19. I mean, hall rental was 85,000, 91,000, 87,000, 87,000, 84,000.
The economy was better back then.
Whoa.
too.
But it was also a better percentage.
Oh, no, I
We're
understand
not getting the
that.
percentage that we were
Right.
then with this new contract. The bar rental, same thing. The food service was a higher percentage. And actually the hall rental was a very minimal cost. We were on the lower end of the surrounding halls like ours. They compared it, they did an analysis for us, and they compared it to, I think it was 4 or 5 other municipal run venues like we
Yeah.
have.
And we were low.
We were on the low, so that's one reason why back in 17 we raised our rates a little bit. But
But that was a lot for hall rental too.
yeah, and the prices were a lot cheaper. It was only $600 for the whole hall.
Yeah, and look at the hall rental for 2022.
Because they came in and dropped the price.
The company did. Boston Tavern did,
Yes.
okay. Because they made their money on the food and bar, maybe.
Yeah, but we lost money. Because they made more money on the food, we lost money on the hall rental. So, all right. So what we're gonna discuss tonight, the first thing under old business is we're gonna,
It's not here.
he's not here, so we don't have amounts to vote on.
Nope.
Where's Mike? Did he,
No idea.
No idea.
okay.
Well, we'll go to 1B, and that's vote to approve purchase of new tennis court net.
So we have 2 tennis courts nets up there. The third one was heavily damaged, so Ryan couldn't put it back up. So I went there with him, and we looked at what we need to do. First thing I did was I had Lakeville Tennis Club bring over the pickleball nets, which are there and set up. But we need some kind of a backstop because we have 2 courts, and if a ball goes into the other court, then it's going to disrupt the game. So it only makes sense to put up another net. So Peter,
Which we discussed
yeah,
before.
Peter went online, and I think there was one at Dick's Sporting Goods for like $200.
Is that comparable to the ones out there?
You mean as far as
Quality.
it's pretty good, but it's it's not meant to. It'll serve the purpose of blocking it over there. How's that?
Well, the reason I'm asking is, I'm just saying, should we put the new net on the tennis court? And use one of the older nets as just a backstop? I mean, I'm just, you know,
No,
I mean, if that's all it is being a backstop, we could use the old nets and put the nice
Okay.
brand new net on the tennis court.
yeah, I
If
have
it's the
to,
same quality.
I think he may have.
yeah, I mean, when I looked at
The
it,
tennis court should get
That's
them.
it looked like the same quality. I mean, I would
So
have
the
to go
others?
see it.
Just those two at the end, I didn't
I mean,
see
we
it.
can wait till the, if you want.
$200?
What was the price on that, Peter?
Which one?
The good one?
The Dix?
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. I need to look it up.
Or if you want, we can just propose up to $400 if we can get a better one, and if it comes down to 200 or 250, we spend it. If not, then we table it and bring it to the next meeting. Can we do that?
We can.
Okay.
Price is, as correct, is $187.
Okay,
Yeah.
so $200.
All right, so I
And I can
make,
give you a sales tax,
oh, yeah, yeah.
so that we don't pay a sales tax.
187 for how many?
Just one.
One.
Just one net? It's expensive.
No, it isn't. I promise you it's not.
I thought they were online on Amazon for like $80.
Yeah, we're not buying that one of those. That's a volleyball net. This is the actual one they use in tennis courts. The
Okay.
ones online, it's not worth it. I'd rather get the better one because of the weather. So I make a motion to, oh, two nets? I make a motion to purchase two nets for the Ted Williams tennis court. And I would like to put a limit of $500 to buy the two
A limit.
From Dick's.
from Dick's.
We'll discuss after, or no?
You can discuss now.
Why don't we buy one, make sure it's good, and then buy the second one? Because if it's a cheap, crappy net, you don't want to spend that money, right?
Where is there?
There's not too many Dicks around anymore.
There's one in Brockton, isn't
Plymouth.
there?
I don't know.
But that's only involved online, right? Is that? Because I'm
They
going
probably don't
to,
carry 'em
You
at the
can
store.
probably ship to the store.
you know, yeah, you know what I'll do? I'm going to Plymouth tomorrow. I'll drop by the Dick's and hope, they may have it
I said
there.
call and see before you go, because they probably don't stock tennis court nets.
Yeah, but maybe,
This time of year.
but maybe the guy, it's 5 minutes from where I'm going. Maybe the guy can show me online, I mean, what it is, and
Yeah.
I'll tell him what it's for. So
But
I'll-
but a net isn't going to be more than $200, right?
Right. But I want to put 500 in for whatever purposes. We don't have to spend the 500,
Right.
but I don't want to have to come back here for
Yeah.
$25.
Right.
All right.
Because
Right.
it could be just, like you said, a volleyball net
Right.
that they just
Or
say
badminton
tennis
net.
court. Yeah.
So I made a motion.
I'll second.
For up to $500. Okay, then we have a second. Any further discussion? None being heard. We have a camera, so we can just take a vote. All those in favor, raise your hand.
All right.
Unanimous. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna buy one, might as well buy two and put the two on the tennis courts and take one of those and,
And
I
give it
mean,
to
if all
them.
it's gonna be is
It's only a backstop. They're not
backstop,
using it.
Yeah, that's fine. I think that's great. I mean, we've got beautiful, beautiful courts out there. We might as well put a new net up.
So if I order,
Are we going to be taking those down for the winter and storing them?
yes,
Yeah.
100%. Once we feel that figures, we're just gonna,
Yeah, after a certain time,
Yeah,
maybe
after a
after
certain-
November or something.
right. We can all make
think
that
so?
decision.
We'll have to make that decision. People play tennis all the time.
Yeah, but I don't think
And
after
pickleball,
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, on nice weekends.
Yeah.
They just
All right.
Yeah. So anyhow, but
Let's do that meeting to
Okay.
meeting and.
all right.
figure
So
that out.
going back to A, we can. I mean, we can approve up to. I mean, I don't know.
I have no idea what he has to do, so we're gonna have to
We're
wait.
gonna have to wait.
I mean, right now, Ryan's opening it up in the morning, and then either you and I guess, are locking it.
Are there locks on both ends?
Yes,
Yeah.
but we're gonna keep one end completely locked
Okay.
and just use the one on this side here, because there's no reason to come in the other
parking's
side.
over here anyhow.
And
Okay.
I don't want anything. Mike did put in the floodlights. If you
Yep.
put in the lights, the motion lights, when they come in, it's great. I'm gonna talk to, if I have time tomorrow, I'm gonna go talk to Officer Maltese about camera and
Hooking it up to the. police station.
maybe hooking up to the police station,
Yeah,
just
the
like,
surveillance.
like you do.
Yeah.
So if we can do that, that would be great. I'll ask him what needs to be done, and maybe the town will take care of it. So, I will report that at the next meeting.
Okay.
But hopefully Mike can get us the information.
Okay. Number 2, we're gonna modify. We're not gonna go into the operating budget. We're gonna deal with a couple of items that dealing with the ARPA funds and the ongoing capital projects that we have.
You want me to bring everyone up to date?
Sure, go right ahead, Mike.
Okay. So where we stand as of now. So the tennis courts are complete.
No,
What's your
congratulations. It's a
I'm writing.
Okay. So anyway, I've been meeting with Frank and with Ari a lot, and Rich and Christina, just to see, talking about a little bit about.
Just for purposes here, could you give their last names?
Um,
Do you know?
yeah, it's Ari Skye, Skye, isn't it? Rich LaCamera.
I think I got the spelling.
What's Christina's?
Corpus. I'm not. I can
get that
we'll
to
get
you.
you
I know, okay, I know who you're talking about.
She's the assistant
I know.
to Ari.
So we're looking at what we have right now and what we hope the priorities are. So they would like to have the basketball court done next. So I got a quote. He's going to hold a quote till next year, but I'm not going to present it yet. I'll present it at the next meeting because I want it in a different format. And the monies are available in the capital budget for this year, which has not been used. It's $20,000.
That's our budget.
That's our budget, our capital budget, which is, you can see on the piece of paper.
On the expense page, it's the last item down.
Last item says 20,000. Paula, you see that?
I'm looking at.
That's for next year, right?
That's for this year.
It's a
It shows
23
it.
budget, which is what we're in
23
right now.
budget.
We're in the 23 budget.
Right.
It ends
Okay.
in June.
So that's unused.
Yeah.
And we can put that towards that in 23 because we have a couple large items that we want to get done for next year. So they were very happy about that. I'll present it at the next meeting and hopefully you'll all approve. The only thing I'm not updated on, and I'm hoping, Paula, you can help me with this, is what's going on with the building at Clear Pond? What's the latest? We know what's happening?
I'm surprised that Nate hasn't talked to somebody because nothing's done.
Well, are we gonna take it out of Nate's hands and put it in our hands or something? Because I really don't wanna wait.
I don't think I can. I think it has to go through the building and building people because it's a $25,000 project. He was looking at different sheds, and
But do we have an approved design yet? I mean, if he's looking for sheds, do we have the footprint or anything that needs to go through, or who's
the
gonna?
ball's in Nate's court. He
Right.
has to tell you, and I recommend that if you're the spokesperson, you talk to Nate
All right,
and
I'll go
ask
down
him
and talk
where
to
he is
him.
at that.
But you
because
haven't
he-
heard anything?
I have not heard
Okay.
a word.
That's good, I just
And,
wanna make sure.
All I know is that we needed bigger than a 12 by 16 for sure. And there's some other equipment that, is gonna go in there. So we needed something much larger, but.
You gave him a drawing, didn't you? Didn't you do a drawing?
Yes, I sent the drawing.
So
out.
he has it,
Yeah.
and I have it too, so
Yeah.
I will go down either tomorrow or, what's tomorrow, Wednesday? Or Thursday and talk to him
Yeah.
and see,
I don't know where
and
he
see
is
what's
now.
happening because, I don't know what he's doing now, maybe he needs a nudge.
The last time I talked to him,
Mm-hmm.
the town was in the process of hiring a
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Project.
The assistant or project manager.
project manager
so they're gonna wait.
that was, I believe, going to take over things like this.
Okay,
I haven't heard from Nate recently.
so it's gonna wait till the spring, but at least we have the money for it. Okay,
Yeah. I
We have
think
no
the way
choice.
You should touch base with him.
I will.
And just say,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
where are we?
Yeah,
Have we got the size that we need? And will this happen now or is it gonna be after the new year? I mean,
Yeah.
at least he might be able to tell us that.
We have the demolition of it too, right?
That all has to go, it can't,
Well, there's
you can't
stuff
do
in it.
anything, because
Yeah,
we
so-
got everything stored in there.
Yeah, so we'll get it going, but we'll hopefully get it on the docket as early as the spring. The other issue is we don't have an update on the demolition yet of John Pond, right? That's with him too?
What?
Who's handling the demolition?
Well, that's all part of the building
Okay,
costs.
so-
Yeah, because I actually had volunteers that were willing to take it down, but I think.
Yeah, they won't allow that.
Scott said, well, that becomes a liability, so.
Yeah.
It'd be
We were
great.
just trying to save
Oh,
money.
No, I
No, I
agree,
know, Paula.
but if someone gets hurt, that's the town's problem, because it's town property.
I understand.
All right, so he'd be the person I talk to, too?
Yeah, because we were scheduling the date with him. We had said, after the season was over and they were playing into October, so that November would be a good time frame
Right.
to take it down.
Yeah.
It's still not too cold yet, but
Okay.
but again, I haven't
Yeah.
heard from him.
And he was gonna be arranging the container to
Okay.
get everything in it, but we haven't heard a word.
I'll get an update for everyone.
Yeah.
And the lights are good down there, the cameras, everything's good down there?
Oh, no, the cameras have been, the surveillance camera was taken out and put at John Pond Park because we needed it.
No, I'm sorry, I was talking about John Pond. I'm
Oh,
sorry. Yeah, when we
yeah,
talked about
that's
the
that's
building.
over at John Pond.
So
yeah.
everything's good there?
Yeah, so far he's so goody, yeah.
Yeah. Do we do anything with that bathroom for the winter? Do we seal it up? Do we
Now,
drain it?
I
We
have
have to.
all this information for John Pond from Mike because he's taken over, and I know that he was taking care of the
Cameras.
bathrooms again.
Trying to, but they weren't getting back to him.
Flowmaster?
No, the softball people.
Oh, the softball
'Cause
people.
They left the electric cord out.
They left it up. They locked it up in the snack bar, right? That's what happened.
Not what I said. They left it out. It was out attached to the building. Because I said something to Mike. I said, "Well, Mike, you can't do anything until you get the electric cord." He goes, "What are you talking about? It's plugged in." I
Yeah,
said, "No, it's not supposed to be plugged in."
right. They usually put it in one of the
Well,
bathrooms.
when Mike was down there, it was not.
Is that one of the reasons the electric bill could be so high?
No, it's an on-demand system, so it doesn't. It just
So
takes.
just because it's plugged in doesn't mean it's being used.
Right.
Yeah.
Really, yeah. I mean, when we originally bought it, we used the air conditioner, but we've shut the air conditioner off because that was just running constantly.
Okay, so the next topic is for next year, but it's what was that? But it's not an operational budget thing. It's something that we're going to have the money to do these two projects, which is what I think is a priority, and we can discuss. The number one is the hot topic, and everyone talking about what they would love is the playground, Gamage Playground, which Melissa is working on. I'll ask you for an update in a second. Okay. Which he's working on very nicely, but we have to come up with somewhat of a figure, an estimate, because we have to figure out. We also have the parking lots to be done for the old soccer fields.
The two soccer fields.
Yes. So Scott and I went out down there and we said it doesn't make sense to do one. Let's just get it done. Let's do two. We're going to grade up to halfway, I think. Grade up the road so that for the entrance to come in,
Yeah,
they're
there'd
going to
probably
do
be a little
that.
work done on the road.
But we also have to get rid of the telephone poles.
Where are they that they're in the way?
They were moved along the perimeter of the fields so that people didn't drive on the fields. It was a temporary measure. So they've got to be moved
But
up.
they're full of wires and creosote, so it's not safe.
Yeah.
So I know Scott got a bid on a fence, but we don't need to talk about that now. But we need to figure out an economical way to do that, because this project, we have a figure that we're aware of, but it's not. It's
Now,
not
is the
cheap.
town chipping in on this parking lot, or is it on us?
This is it, it's on us,
Okay.
all right? Everything is on us for both. But when we say chip in, we
Any
can
funds?
capitalize it and we can ARPA it too. So it's not, it's, the way it works is in our next capital budget, we can put down 80,000, 100,000, okay, to get stuff done. But and I don't know, and Melissa can give us an update on when would we get the playground done? What kind of a timeline? Because the one thing we can't do is mix capital with ARPA. So it's either going to be all ARPA
Okay.
or all ARPA for both separately, or it's going to be ARPA for one and capital for another. Because if we put, if we mix them at all, then it's got to go to town meeting and then everything is changed. So what we have to figure out is, and
Which way you want to go for the money.
right,
And,
which piggy bank?
yeah, and
Okay.
now, in your discussion with the town, are we more likely to do better by going to ARPA for the parking lot over at the two fields?
See, I don't know that yet, because that's a discussion I need to have with them once we come up with a decision.
And this, if I'm not mistaken, there's only certain things that the opera money is to be used for. You know, one of the big things is infrastructure and recreation. But we don't, the town doesn't have a lot of infrastructure. And I'm talking like, you know, underground utilities and
Okay.
water, and, you know, we don't have a lot of that. So,
So it's gonna be up to them, we'll make the recommendation, but it's up to them whether they want ARPA with capital. But we have to propose to them, this is what we want done. And so these are,
Yeah.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just trying to get a ballpark figure of fixing that parking lot. Did we stick around 50,000, or were you thinking more?
well, I mean, based on the original bid that I had gotten last year,
Mm-hmm.
we were 37 or 40 between the two, and a little bit of work. 23, 38. So I think it was like 43 to do the whole parking lot.
So we can plan on at least 50,000.
Right. That was 2021. So
Yeah.
I mean,
But we also have to put in the poles and some kind of guard for that too, because I don't know, this was,
that doesn't include fencing.
This doesn't include
This
fencing.
is just the.
we
Just the
didn't,
parking.
didn't know about wages, or if they're gonna, you know, but Scott's working on that.
Well, this was originally done that way. He knows because he put in the fields.
Right.
He knows it's going to be done.
All right.
It just didn't say it on the. This was Northeast Hydro Seeding. They're the company, a local company out of Middleborough that did the fields. Originally built the two fields for us, and so I mean they had to do everything according to, you know, town specifications, including
Yeah.
that.
So they're very. I walked with Frank down there. I talked to the town hall, and you know there was no negative feedback. There was okay, let's go. Let's see, you know what it takes to get done. So they've been very supportive of us. Just letting you know,
I
they
know
see
that.
things getting done.
Yeah.
They're very very happy. So we have to keep on that
Yeah.
roll
The
because
question is, we have to come up with a figure, and it sounds like we're heading towards at least 75,000.
well, I don't want to guesstimate, but
I don't know, I mean, but
but
we're gonna come up with a big number, plus she's coming up with a big number.
well that's what we need to just that's.
Have we ever had a couple, Scott, capital projects running around 100,000 in 1 year?
The road,
That was,
155,000.
did you have another project that same year at over 100, do you think?
No,
I'm just wondering how
no, that's
they.
the biggest project we've
How
had.
many years was that?
Okay,
It was done in 1 year.
No, how many?
Oh, how many years ago?
When did you do it?
3, 4? It was
It was
here when
bef-
I got here.
It was before
It's
you, so I want to say it was 3 years before you, so it's probably 6 years ago,
Okay.
6, 7 years ago.
So how do you think that's gonna,
You know what? It's I don't know, but I just want to do our job correctly, and
Well, we'll do it correctly, I'm sure, with the right numbers. The
And I'll-
question is whether or not we'll be denied because we have two big projects
You know what?
that have to be taken care of.
we've been taking projects. I'm going to do my song and dance and jump up and down and tell them we need it, and like I said, they've been. I have to admit, they've all been great. So
Yeah, yeah.
we'll see. So we can't discuss yet where the monies are going to come from until we see the monies. And Melissa, can you give us an update on everything?
Well, I
Please.
sent you the email. So the first man got back to me from Intraplay, the one that you gave me, and he was very nice. But he and this is what we talked about. These are inclusive pieces. So
It was cool.
and there's really nowhere to put them. Like there's no room on the existing playground. If we took out the swings, there would be, but then we would have no swings. So this is all next to, from the arbor back, it's like 75 feet. And it's just the three pieces, but it just looks like the three pieces were dropped there, which they were, for lack of anywhere else to do. But I didn't like it. And the man was like, when I'm like, yeah, it's exactly what we talked about. Thank you so much, but I don't love it. And
Because you see it in a
looks
picture
like,
now.
yeah. And he's like, I totally agree, but there's not much we can do. So I asked about getting the panels and music things to put in to maybe break some of it up, so it's not like it dropped there.
What do you mean panels?
And the other thing,
Yeah, what do you mean by music panel?
see, like on the bottom of this boat, see that rectangle right there, that square?
Yeah.
That's a panel. So on that panel, it has an activity on it.
Oh, okay.
Well, you
yeah.
can't see because
activity
it's
panels. I
teeny
know what
tiny
you're talking
right
about.
there.
I understand what
But,
you're talking about now.
Yeah, and they have music ones. They have a really cool chime one. It's the chimes like this, and they have the sticks on them, so you can go, and it's like long. So they have that, and then the boat. Is that the best picture of the boat?
Yeah, I like the boat.
That's a good picture.
We had a boat there before.
Yes, and that's what everybody I talked to says. There used to be, there was a boat over there. There was a boat over there. There was a boat over there.
Right.
So I said, when everybody came, I said, I'd really like a boat over there because there's just this much room. This boat fits like exactly in that spot. Providing there's not a reason that they leveled it up. Like there could be a rocks underneath it, so we can't dig down because it needs, the whole playground needs at least 9 to 12 inches of mulch.
Depth.
Yeah, and we don't have that. So the only way to get it is to build up or dig down. And if we build up, then you're looking at more ramps and things to make it accessible. So it's probably going to be easier in the long run to dig down than build up.
So we're going to probably have to pay someone extra to grade and everything, right?
And
Or is that included? That you're,
Not included in the
they're
price.
just doing the equipment
and Franklin
stuff.
can't do that because he doesn't have a grader, right?
Right.
Well, it doesn't have to be graded. It just has to be
Well,
dug out.
It wouldn't be the grader. I mean,
It would
the
be
difference
dug
between what the town has for a grader is like a road grader.
Right.
You can't bring in a road grader in
No.
here. It doesn't. It's not the space
So
for
he
it.
needs a
Right.
bucket.
Yeah, just like a little bobcat. We
Bucket
must have
and-
one of those, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So it's just like scraping 9 inches off and put it down. Because as long as it's 9 to 12 inches, right? So as long as we plan on 12 inches and maybe some spots at 9 inches, that's okay.
Right.
For depth.
So for
Right.
depth.
Right.
Yeah.
To make a soft landing.
Yeah. So there's things that we can do to bring down the price. We'll take those out because we really don't need the flags. And how long are they going to last anyway? But I kind of wanted the boat. But this was the only man who also listened to me and has given me a boat. So there's that. So we'll see what the other two come up with. But I also have a feeling this is going to be the most economical one.
Did they give you prices on each, by the way?
Yeah, this plan is about $100,000
For which one?
for all of it. So you
All
get
of it.
you get the boat and those 3 structures, and that covers the shipping, that covers them installing it, and that covers the mulch.
And it's how much?
About $100,000.
That's actually not bad.
No, it covers everything except for
Really?
the excavation.
It's not bad at all.
It's not cheap.
No.
To
And
do it right.
that's also with
Is that rubber mulch or real
no,
mulch?
the real mulch. Well, real mulch, but it's engineered wood fiber, EWF, so it doesn't have any carcinogens or anything like that. It has to be approved and
up
certified
to
and
code and,
yeah. So there's that, but
So they provide the mulch too, so we've just gotta
that was in the
dig
budget
down and
too.
get the.
Right.
In the email I sent to you.
Okay.
Yep.
I know, and I apologize, I printed it out.
That's
It's sitting
all
on
right.
my desk.
Nope, it's fine. I didn't know how much information you guys want. Like,
Well, no, I think, like,
do you want me to send you this information when I get it? Do you want me to wait and
Wait
just
and
tell it
present
to
it.
you at the
Yeah,
thing?
wait, just
because
wait and
That
present
way
it.
you can, because otherwise
information
you're gonna
doesn't-
get,
Tons of
5 different
answers.
emails coming back at you and asking questions. And
Yeah.
that brings me to another point. We have to remember that emailing is for information only. We cannot discuss business and we cannot vote
yeah.
through email.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it. I'm not saying anyone's doing that. I'm just
Right.
saying, I'm just making a reminder. We have new people on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Mike's not here, unfortunately, but it's just something we have to be aware of and you have to be cognizant of it. It's informational purposes only. You can shoot back to just Paula and have a conversation and talk whatever you want to talk about. But when it's, to the group, it's strictly information. So I just wanted to get that back out.
But I was okay saying
No,
that.
what you did was perfect.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
you were sending the
please.
information prior to our meeting, which was
Yeah.
great.
Can I ask questions?
Yeah, sure.
So, this is an opportunity, because it is gonna cost 6 figures, that, and I know in previous administrations or commissions, people have, kind of say, I'll donate this, and it hasn't come through. I'm not naming names, but this is so important to the town. I mean, you see Lakeville helping Lakeville and people want to be on there. This is the opportunity to get people to help in whether it's landscaping, whether it's if we're painting anything. I think this is where we might get a great response, or someone to grade if it needs to be graded, or move things, as a donation. I don't know, but I think once we get this done and see what needs to be done, because that footprint that this is on, is that the existing footprint?
That is the existing footprint. Bushes need to be moved
Right.
and things like that.
That's not a
But
problem.
no
Cleaned
big
out.
trees. Yeah.
No.
That goes from the oak tree.
Yeah,
You know
'cause
the
it-
big oak tree in the back right before it steps up.
Okay.
It goes
It
from
was
the oak
pretty
tree
wide
right
open.
to the fence.
When it came in originally, it was pretty wide open. There's been
Yeah.
a lot of stuff grown in since then.
Right. It's
Well, a lot of
about
that we can take care of, the
36
town
feet
can take
around.
care of.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't see that as a big deal.
Not at all.
And, I'm sorry,
No, go ahead.
how much room did you have for this? Did you have enough room?
It's exactly enough room
Okay, for the boat.
for the boat.
To go back where the other boat was.
Yes.
Well, it was unfortunate the other boat was made out of
So,
pressure-treated wood.
Well, the playground is only going to last. I know they wanted to do it once and one and done, right? But the playgrounds only last 15 to maximum 25 years. And in
Right.
our environment, it's not going to make the 25 years.
that was New England.
Although the last guy assured me his was going to last 25 to 30 years. But I
Yeah,
Don't
because
believe it.
when I had looked at it and talked with this gentleman, it was two things. It was I was trying to get the key to take off the plexiglass for the fitness trail, and two, we were investigating putting like one small piece of equipment at the new fields in the middle of the two fields there, and seeing what they had, especially like in the fall sometimes, and I'm sure you may have run into it. They have some specials.
Yep.
They are trying to unload things, but obviously that's something down the road. That's not
right.
not even on the front,
All right,
not even on the middle burner.
So here's a question, I'm gonna be devil's advocate, because people will ask. They're gonna go, why are we doing this, and when would people use it?
Well, it's not going to be in for 4 to 6 months.
No, I'm saying, once it's done, why are we doing this?
Because
Yes,
we
we
have to
don't have
upgrade,
one.
we have to upgrade the playground.
Well, we don't have one in town, a public playground. We
Right.
have the one at the school.
And the
Well, we-
one at John Pond, which is a little swing set, right?
Zero Ponds is horrible.
Right. Well, but you can't get into Clear Pond, but in
No.
the summertime.
I'm just coming to this,
Okay.
people ask.
So that's my first thing. It's really the only public playground in town. It is used a ton when the little kids are playing ball on that field.
T-ball, they're all over.
That's what I'm saying, because when you've got little kids playing, they usually have little brothers and sisters. And mom and dad can watch the little one playing t-ball, and right behind him is the one on the swing, on the thing. I mean, it's a perfect location because the little kids play on that field, and they're right there.
And during the week, you see moms out there with the kids.
A lot of
Fine.
times they'll take the
It
kids,
is
get them
full
out,
use
get them
during-
out, and they bring them in, and they come there and they use it. Believe me.
I'm so for it. It's
That
crazy, but
gazebo, after Linda and Bobby painted it 4 years ago, the next year that gazebo got more use than that gazebo for pictures because it was freshly painted white. It was beautiful. Linda had put some flowers and some bushes around it before they got trampled. And it looked great, and it was inexpensive. It was paint, their labor in between doing different jobs. And I'm telling you, I'd come in here on the weekend and be like, oh, someone else is getting their picture taken. I mean, it was all the time.
Yeah.
It was
Which is
all
nice.
the time.
Tell me about the bench in there,
The metal one?
the donated one.
Which, I was going to say,
That,
which
isn't that
bench?
Darlene's?
I'm gonna
Isn't
guess
that
most
bunch
of them are all-
Darlene's mom
No, one was
donated?
donated by someone who said that if we're gonna do with the playground, that she'd take it back.
Yes.
So I don't know much about that.
Because after you posted, every time you post, I'm like, and last time, this
Right.
guy's like, oh, I heard you're getting bids. And I'm like, how did you know that? And then he forwards me your post. I'm like, okay, Mike, thanks for the heads up.
But I did say Melissa's in charge.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's one bench on the far side near the area where where she's talking about the
It's behind the big holly tree.
right.
Okay.
It's way
So
up
you
in the
probably
front,
don't even
way up in the
notice
front
it.
corner. It's been there for a long time. It was put in right after the playground was made, so I don't have any information on that. That was before I was on the board. It was like, I said, hey, when did this come in? And Danny and Darryl said, oh, it's been in there for a while. It came in right after the playground was built,
Yeah.
and that was in dedication to somebody's child.
Who
Okay.
passed away, obviously.
Yeah.
Right.
Ryan was gonna move it out a couple weeks ago, but it's locked to the fence. So I think they might have given up. I don't know if they were looking for the keys to go back and do it because
And I thought one of those benches belonged to Darlene's mom. She had put it, Darlene Lee had, her mom's, had a bench in there for her, after her
yeah,
mom.
I'm gonna have to go back and
It's
look,
very
and we'll get
possible.
more information because the plaque that was on it too is the plaque is there, but you can't read anything that it says. So Lorraine Carboni reached out to me, and she's like, "Oh, I'll have it done." And I'm like, "You know what? We're gonna probably have to do so much more and get so many more plaques and things because there's benches down. The granite one has a crack in it. The top is off the legs. Like, there's a bunch of memorials in there. So they're probably all gonna have to be re-signed. So I'm like, it's silly. Just hang on a little bit longer, and we'll see what we can do."
And maybe the people that were supposedly putting up a new sign will move it along when they find out that the whole place is being revamped.
I've reached out
Yeah.
2 or 3 times and haven't heard anything back.
Would you check with Darlene Lee? Do you know, Darlene's at Heritage Flowers, and she was involved with the with that playground last year, and she had some volunteers that were gonna help. She,
Right, but she didn't get anywhere with the sign. That's what we're talking
yeah,
about.
right, but she was supposed to have
Because
that
I gave
donated.
I gave her the name. It's supposedly already being built. 3 years ago, it was supposedly already being built.
There's a
Do
wood
you know
shortage.
where that it was? Because didn't you say they dropped it off somewhere? Can I just call them and see if they have it?
Last I knew, it was Crutchfield's sign. But I mean, I even have. It was a picture of it was sent to me. This is what it's going to look like. It was going to be all granite,
Where's
so it was going to be
Crutchfield?
one in Middleborough. It was going to be, again, one and done. You know, it wasn't
Right.
going to be wood that, as you can see, what's
Right.
happened to the wood is splintered over time. But somehow they were going to incorporate all the names and all the people who donated originally.
Yeah, because I
That's
saw
that's
them
what that
all in
sign
there.
has, right?
There's bricks. I know they're not behind you, but the file folder in there says that we sold commemorative bricks to be put down, and I didn't see any out there. Like, are there commemorative bricks on the playground?
Where'd that money go to?
None of it's gone anywhere in 9 years.
No, but it might be a
Research.
good idea to sell commemorative.
It
but I
would.
never
We
heard-
talked about that.
We
But-
did for over there, but we could make it just one.
But,
Thing.
Check over near the gazebo. There might be bricks
yeah,
with
Oh,
names.
on that one.
Yeah,
but
I'm not sure.
when I was thinking about the bricks, which I think is an excellent idea, I was also thinking about corporate sponsorships in there, to donate some towards the equipment, and we'll say nice thank you plaque, from, I don't know, Ocean Spray or whatever, which may help the cost down. Do we have, and that, some of the equipment, is there equipment that's, I know there's a name for it, for either special needs or autistic kids, or,
Inclusive.
that's in there?
There's the term.
There's
Perfect.
all
Special
three of
populations.
them.
No, there's a name, there's a type of equipment you buy, and that's, my wife gave it to me because she has it at her school.
It's all three of those separate pieces are all inclusive. So anybody, as long as they can transition from a wheelchair out into something, they're covered. They can use all three of those, and they can go up on the boat
So
because
they're
it has
handicapped accessible.
a transfer station. The only population that we don't have something for is somebody who cannot get out of a wheelchair.
Okay,
And there are things like that. There
but is there one for like autistic kids,
absolutely the
where it'd be very interactive with them?
yeah, well we need to replace the swing, the one with the harness that comes down.
Yeah,
That needs to be replaced because it's not there. It's not in there, is it?
No. I don't
there's
think-
bodies in there, don't even open it.
So that needs to be replaced, and then that's good because it's motion. There's the tire swing thing, that's motion. So that's for autistic kids, any kids, and it's autistic children or special children can do it with other children. Like it's not just one. I didn't
Okay.
want anything that would segregate people with needs. I wanted it to be something that
Inclusive.
everybody could use.
Inclusive.
No,
Yeah.
that's the way
So
it's supposed to
all
be.
three of those separate things are that, as well as the boat because it has the transfer station at the bottom.
So I think once, and if you guys agree with this, once Melissa's got everything and we like it, I have no problems going around banging on doors for corporate sponsorships.
Well, I think everybody out there, they're all like, let me know what we can do. We'll fundraise, we'll do this, we'll do that. But the money, the town has to ultimately write the check to get our discount. It's an 11% discount if we go with this company, and the town pays for it.
But the check might be less if we're getting signs
Sponsors.
for,
Right, but what she's saying is
No,
it's
I-
gonna- it's
yeah.
gonna be paid by the town.
By the town,
So
right.
the fundraising is gonna have to go into an account.
Right.
that will
Which
then-
it's already there, right? Because we have that Gamache one
Yeah,
there.
how they came out
And
with
she
the-
said that as long as the checks are made to the town hall and it says on the memo line to the Gamache playground, we give them to you, to Peter, they come to Peter, and Peter brings them right over.
perfect.
And it's not a problem. But I didn't want to put that out there.
No, not yet. We're not even close to
No.
that. But I think a lot of people, being that, as Scott said, this is gonna be the playground, because you can't get into Assawamsett
During
half
the
the time.
day, you're
During
really
the
not
day,
supposed to.
this is gonna be kind of like I think when it opens up officially, we should have some kind of,
Ceremony.
ceremony and maybe some games down there and really make it special so that people can
Base
see
At
band.
it.
$100,000, it should be special. I mean,
No,
it's
but-
a big event.
I think it's a
It's a
big
big
event.
deal.
So that's
Absolutely.
something down the road.
Yeah. We have a little ways to go.
Right.
But the key is, and I know Melissa's working on hard, that we're gonna need to figure out these things sooner than later.
Well, the next one, I met with him 2 weeks ago and it came in yesterday. So I met with the others. I met with them Thursday. The others were Monday and Tuesday. So within the next couple weeks, the other plans should be coming in, but doesn't mean they're gonna.
Do
but
we, how does the payment work? Do we have to pay up front? Do we pay when it comes?
But sure,
Do
it's
you
a
know?
deposit.
I don't know. Last
Well,
time
yeah,
it was a
just-
deposit.
Deposit, okay.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, because if it's gonna take 4 to 6 months, we've gotta pull the trigger, or the town's gotta pull the trigger
On the-
sooner than later.
That's
Right.
why.
Otherwise, it's not gonna come till this time next year.
Right.
And then you've lost the whole
Deposit.
season.
Right.
Well, no, you're not lost the deposit, but you've lost the whole season of kids playing on it.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why I asked for this meeting now, because if we're gonna do it,
Right.
we have to do it sooner than
There's a couple
later.
things that really have to be done sooner than later.
Yeah, and that's why the whole mulch discussion that we'll put on the agenda for next week, because the playground needs to be it needs the mulch now because the pea stone is not a accessible ground cover anymore. So that
Okay.
shouldn't even be there. And then there's gravel under the swings that they took. They do the baseball diamond, the infield
Stone dust.
is under the swings, and that isn't supposed to be there. And there's no mulch anywhere under any of the equipment. So it's a whole
Right, because there was, but
Right,
it's just all got
right.
kicked out over the last 10 years.
right because no matter what you put down, whether it's a poured surface or rubber mulch or regular mulch, that's got to be done every 2 years, 2 to 3 years. So a playground is not a one and done thing.
So, just to be honest with you, I think if these two things get approved, which I'm hoping, we're not gonna have any room for any more capital projects next year. We're not gonna be able to ask for any more money. I mean, this is huge. The
Yeah.
ARPA
You're
and
talking a
whatever.
couple $100,000.
Which is,
So, I mean, that's probably the biggest, but.
And we don't know where the money's coming from.
We don't know which piggy bank it's coming from. How's that? There's
Yeah.
there's two piggy banks.
Yeah.
So that's going to be up to them, but it's my job to push it.
Yeah.
And so at some point, when we talk about the playground, Melissa, you'll be there when we discuss and when we talk about the other one. Because this is
Soccer fields.
This-
I shouldn't call them soccer.
Right.
Multi-use.
Thank you.
Multi something.
multi-use.
Multi.
And I vote that we call it the Scott Holmes
No.
Playground
No.
Soccer Complex.
No,
He's
no,
been
no.
praying for this for a long time.
Mike Nolan put a lot of work into it, too,
So
getting those fields built.
I think that this is why it's so important that we really get on this. But at the same time, we still have to babysit the other projects. The shack, the demolition, and I'll talk to them tomorrow.
Yeah, well, all that other stuff is, money's appropriated, it's a matter of getting it moving.
Oh, I know, but
And it's in Nate's hands, I think he has to tell you where he is. I mean, he doesn't contact anybody, so, and Doug is officially not at the, Clear Pond,
No,
so
no,
he's
I
not
understand.
communicating with him.
But, I mean, none of this is probably, well, at least these two things won't be done till the spring. Who knows when those other two projects will be done. I'm not quite sure about Clear Pond parking. Were you going to get a quote on stone?
Well, he's gonna call me when he's ready to go down there. First of all, he's gotta schedule it. And when he puts us on the schedule, I'll call you or text you because you've gotta tell Franklin.
Well, I would like,
And he is separate from that, he wants to meet to measure the parking lot. I mean, it's one thing to grade it and bring it down to, the gravel and pitch it and all that. But it's another thing to price out stone, which if you do the parking lot, it's.
it may only be done
I have
half
a
the
question.
parking lot, but
Uh-huh,
I have a question.
sure.
Has he met with Franklin?
no.
Franklin was supposed to meet with him, and that's what your email told me. a
They
month
have
ago.
not, Frank was away.
And
They have
Franklin
not-
was on vacation, and when he came back, and I talked to them, and they said they haven't heard a word, but they're gonna keep him on schedule, keep us on schedule so that
Well,
Okay, but I truly
Yeah.
believe that
I will hook those
they
two
need to
up.
have a conversation down there at that parking lot before.
well, we're not gonna
He-
schedule anything because we haven't approved anything.
That's-
Yes?
But we haven't approved it yet.
We haven't approved the
proposal.
quote for $4,000. That hasn't been brought up to approve yet.
well, not from this group.
Right, which is the most
Previous group.
important.
You weren't here. You were tax guy. When we talked about it, and it was Darlene that brought it in, and all the prices for Gamache, the trail, and the parking lot.
I was there when she got the money. She got the money, the marijuana money you're talking
Yeah.
about? I was there when she got it.
But it's only
When
$4,000.
she- Yeah, I know, and when she came back,
I know, but Paula, all we're trying to say is, just because she got the money doesn't mean it's an approved
Well, we
event.
agreed on that last year, is what I'm saying, and I don't know if you were present or not.
But the
But-
one thing wasn't agreed was
Because
paying
it was
for the-
like in,
paying for the grading.
Can't
That hasn't
remember.
been approved. What was approved was 4,000 for the parking lot stone, of the marijuana money.
not
That's what
the-
was
not
approved.
Stone, according to Ari, it was the parking lot, because he sent out a memo.
Because he gave this to me and it says parking lot stone. But either way, the 4,000 is not enough to do the whole thing.
It's not even close.
So that's the issue.
But if you grade it, take it to the gravel, like he explained, you can still drive on it. If you pitch it so it drains properly, of course it's not draining because it's not pitched. All Franklin did was put in the swale and the parking lot was still flooding. But in any event, once that gets done, the town can do whatever they want. If they want to put stone in, or they want to leave it to gravel,
They're not going to do anything. It's not in their budget to do that.
okay.
So it's up to us.
And you're not gonna get stoned for that parking lot unless you grade it.
Well, why are we doing the whole parking lot? Why aren't we just doing the front side when you come in? Why do you need both sides?
Because that's where it floods and that's where the cars are getting stuck. When we went down there, right, yeah, you could see that right in the middle. I thought we could get away with a 12-foot, like an oval, but that isn't where the problem is. The problem is more where they park, and they can back out onto this oval, but they're still going to get stuck in the mud. So essentially you have to grade it and you have to pitch it so that it doesn't flood. But you have to grade it so it comes down to the gravel, and the gravel is good because you don't have that loam on top or soil on top.
Well, we don't know
That
how
getting
deep
stuck.
that's going to be, though.
Well,
To get it down to grade, it could be.
he knows. He's talking 3 or 4 inches. There may be some spots where it's a little deeper, and he said he will throw some gravel in there, where if it is deeper than the 3 inches or 4 inches, but he's going to take all that off because you can't do anything. You can't do anything with that parking lot with that soil on it.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is, do I have his information? I will call Frank and I'll call him and I'll arrange for them to go down there. Okay,
Yeah.
to meet. And then, is that it? Yeah. And then we'll go from there to see what Frank says, what he says.
Yeah.
We can do this, we can't, we should do this, we can't do this, maybe.
Well, I think what Franklin has to do is make sure that they don't ruin the town property. And
Yeah, because it's.
the guy knows what he's talking about. He's going to do what is right. It's just that Franklin has to be there because it's town property, and
Yeah, well, what happens
how
is
much Franklin knows about it, I don't know.
it goes to him, let's get it done, he'll take care of it.
Yeah.
It's not, once it goes to Frank, we're done.
Yeah, the other thing is that at that time, that's when it was recommended aggregate stone.
Yeah, aggregate.
Okay, if they were going to use any stone, because the blue stone, all of that will spit up with the tires and the automobiles driving around on it.
Right,
Yes.
so devil's advocate again.
Yeah, but I don't know how much.
No, I'm just saying devil's advocate, it's open, how many months, Scott? 3?
2.
2 months.
Yeah,
They're gonna say, why are we spending all this money for a parking lot? It's 2 months. I'm just,
yeah, no, because
I just want to bring that
because the
up.
money was appropriated because it's been flooding for years. It's nothing new. The problem with the parking lot and the cars getting stuck in there in the mud, and
How often does that happen? Because I know
well, it
this year.
happened twice last year. We didn't have much rain,
Right,
but the couple days that it did rain, they had. I asked Doug about it, and they had pushed out a couple cars.
now when they get stuck, is it in the back or is it in the front?
It's
It's gotta be in the front, no one's gonna walk from the back, right?
No.
Yeah, but it's.
No, I'm just trying to get, I know what it looks like.
Say
I just
halfway
wanna-
down, because it's flooding in that middle, you know.
I mean, technically, once again, being a devil's advocate, we could rope that off, couldn't we, so people don't park back there? Technically,
Technically you could, but would you if you were now getting people coming back to the park, and they came back big time this year, which was wonderful. And sometimes there's parties, you know, and I know that the program for next year is going to be improved. Doug
Yeah, he's doing a good job.
Doug is having movies at night, and I can't wait till the ET comes.
All right, so I will, when's our next meeting, by the way? Is
2
it
weeks,
2 weeks.
week and a half.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's
The
a
19th.
Thursday.
Right. Next Thursday, it's
Yeah.
scheduled for, so.
What day is that?
And sometimes that parking lot is full, at least half, if not more.
Oh, no, like I said, I'm
So-
just being,
And I know I'm just telling you. And when it's swampy here, then they have to park further on one side or not one side.
Yeah.
And I
have
think
to
if
switch
you're
over.
gonna do it, right, you might as well do the whole thing now while you're doing it. Otherwise, it's gonna cost you twice as much to do half now and half later.
no, but my point is, and it's just like these lots down here when we do them, is that the recommendation is to get stone down there to absorb the water. Or we could have the same problem again.
Right. So that we discussed that with
Yeah.
him, and
In
it was
detail.
even if you put the stone there. First of all, the stone is gonna mix in with the soft
The soil.
soil, and so it's not gonna solve
and so the
anything.
water's still gonna come to the top. You're still gonna have the same, you're throwing the money away. So just get it graded, get it pitched, get it down to the gravel. You can at least drive on that without, flooding.
Right. He said once you get down to the gravel, you don't have to put anything on it because it's going to be hard and it's not going to be a problem. And then if you want to put stone or whatever on top later, we'll discuss it. But he said you don't even need to. Once it's graded and it drains and there's no more soupy soil,
Mhm.
it'll be all good.
You've been quiet.
I'm absorbing all this.
All right, so you absorbed it. What's your comments? No comments?
No comments.
Because how
That's
do
not a
we
good
know?
thing. That's
like
a good thing.
Matt from Nelson's, he came down and he explained it and he showed us and he
We don't
dug
know.
some with his foot.
We don't know.
And we don't know how
That's
to
gonna
do
work.
that.
No, of course not.
And no matter if you put stone or not, you still the first thing to do is get all that soil off and grade it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not gonna
It's just gonna be mush. And you're gonna have mud.
because the soil's not doing anything until because
It's
no
too
water's
soft.
making it over there.
It's too soft. You gotta take it down to the gravel.
That's not an
And-
issue.
And I think that I think he was very explicit. I think he knows what he's doing. I feel confident he knows what he's doing. It's just that we don't have any extra money for stone.
Right.
But at least you can use the gravel and you can drive on it.
Okay, that's great. I'll hook them up, but once again, all these things are gonna be done in the spring.
Well, he can do it in the fall.
No, but I don't wanna go through a winter with it yet. Who knows how it's gonna
You
change.
do want to go through a winter with it
Because it packs
because
it down.
that is the test. You really do want to go through a winter. And since we have the money, we should do it. It's then in the spring, if you look at it and you're saying, oh, we can throw some stone down. God, we should be so lucky to get money for stone. Then you would know, and you should know that you can drive on that come June when you start cleaning up. You need to settle. It needs to settle. It needs to be cleaned up.
Okay, well, I'll have that discussion with them, and then whatever comes up between the two, we'll
Yeah.
deal with
I
it.
mean, it's what's his name? Franklin doesn't have to do anything. He just has to supervise, right? Because don't laugh. Come on. That's what he's there for.
Yeah.
It's a town property. He has to make sure that he's whatever he has to do. I don't know what he has to do.
Well, the only thing my concern is, and I'm sure it's gonna work if it doesn't work. Okay, just say the grade doesn't work and something else comes up, then it's gonna be on Frank's lap. You realize that?
Yeah, but
That's all.
he can work with him and he will explain. I think Franklin should understand.
Well, he's very good at what he does. Okay, I'll take care of that, and then we'll report it at the next meeting. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yep, so do we have to, when are you meeting with them? Next month?
With whom?
The powers to be.
Oh, right before, like, November 15th that week.
So I'm saying, do we have to, I mean, obviously Clip On, and I'm talking about the shed, the demo. I know we don't know, but that's
We're not
already,
worried about that.
there's already money for that, that's already in process.
Money for which?
Huh?
What did you just say? The money? We have money for what?
The shed.
The shed
the
demo
supply-
for
the,
Clip On
storage
Park
shed.
and John Pond Park.
I'm not gonna talk to him about existing projects.
That's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
So, and the tennis court
It's done.
is done, so
Basketball court, you
So-
guys need to approve the
that's
next
what,
meeting.
that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
What do we need to approve? Let's get to the chase here.
Well, I sent you the quote, remember? For the guy doing it?
Right here, 22,000.
No, he's gonna revamp it so it comes below our
Okay.
budget. So,
All right, well, that's-
once I
that's-
do that, I'm gonna bring that to the next meeting.
That's what I was
Revamping.
gonna say, because that number says 20 and that says 23, and I'm
Yeah.
like, something's gotta give here, because,
No, he actually had the wrong figure, so he's gonna bring that down to 20 grand
What?
for the basketball court.
The same guy who did the
Oh,
tennis
Same
court.
guy, they're very happy with him. We're not gonna go
Okay.
out and bid it again and
so
do whatever.
is there anything that we have to vote on?
Tonight? No, but the vote, well, we already voted on the net. My other concern was the cameras, which we're gonna have to move to the next agenda.
Yeah, where is he?
Maybe he thought it was Thursday.
He picked tonight.
Oh, so,
Yep.
no, Mr. Chairman, we're good.
Okay.
And I'll bring all the other information. I'm gonna have to, you want me to send it to you or to Peter in regards what should be on the agenda on this, or for the next
Send it to
meeting?
both of us,
Okay,
because, I kinda review it so that we don't
no problem.
front load it and
Mhm.
have a 3.5 hour meeting. I'm thinking everybody wants to sit here for 3.5 hours. So certain things will not make the agenda, but,
Mhm.
so we'll have to pick
Well,
and
the
choose.
important things won't make them, whatever you decide.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I mean, these are the things that, for the next meeting, because we probably won't do a lot of budget work, maybe, what's the date?
Right now?
19.
No, the
20th?
next meeting,
20th, next
Yeah.
Thursday.
20th. Okay.
Oh, you're kidding me.
We're not gonna do any more budget work, I
I
think.
won't be here.
All right, well, that gives me time to
Do your thing.
kind of do a once-over on it.
Yeah.
Plus I can get where we stand current year-to-date from Todd.
Lodge.
Yep. The one I had was like August, so there wasn't much information.
How about Doug?
And that's another thing, we should have a wrap-up meeting with Doug.
I agree.
Definitely, we can maybe put that as the first item on
Get
the
him
next
outta
meeting
here.
so that he can come and go. He doesn't have to sit here and listen to us chit-chat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does the sign, what it says, need to be voted on or just discussed?
What are we talking about?
What
The
sign?
sign.
The the Route 18 sign, our sign.
Our sign.
Yes.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
always been voted on.
So
Okay.
what do
So
we
we need
want
to put that on because I'd like to change it every week because not having nothing there,
Yep,
people won't even look at it and you just
Right.
get used to not looking at it.
right.
When I go down 44, the jokes on the Raynham Athletic Club, like I look every time to see what that sign says.
Right. Nellie used to change it.
Yeah.
And I don't
Once a
mind
month.
changing it,
Yeah, no.
but
You wanna make a motion on what you wanna put in?
Oh, in December.
can we vote because it's not on the agenda?
She's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we could do a standing once a month.
Yeah, when requests come in
First
for the
meeting of the month.
sign,
Yeah, but
like in
you tell
December,
me we
the
can't change what's on the sign.
the Friends
No,
of
we
the.
can. It's just always been okayed by the board.
Oh, I know that.
That's all.
but-
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And if it's a little quip, that's great. I mean, and we know what it's going to be, then that's fine.
I mean, can't we just take pickleball,
They did.
and just
I
put?
don't know who did.
I did.
Oh,
I
didn't
left
see
it
it.
as courts open.
Okay, we're done. Well, that was quick. I almost
Yes.
ran into it. I went all the way
That
around.
way, we're not sliding the tennis. We're not sliding pickleball. The courts are open.
Courts are open. All courts are open. Basketball court.
Now, speaking of being open, do we have some kind of agreement with the tennis club? Are they going to join us and
Not till next year.
not till next
Not
year?
till next. Right now, they're just donated,
And then there'll be a regular, like any other group we have.
they're gonna pay $20 a head
$20
for
a head for
whenever it is.
one
Okay,
session,
when they
and $20
start.
a head for a second session.
Yeah.
And they can,
It'll be like-
it's not gonna be 6 days a week like the last group.
It'll be
wanted
like
either.
9 to 11, Monday,
Well, let's
Wednesday, and
hope that they
Friday.
stick to the contract. You know, I know that we had a very good contract and
And they ignored us.
luckily, you know, we had it in writing and they,
Yep.
I make it a habit to drive down here pretty much every day, just to drive by, see if
Well,
there's
I
any issues.
walk
It's
my
the
dog.
weekend, that's the issues. The weekend down is the issues, that's when the pickleball people come and complain.
Well, the senior center or there's a group that played pickleball
Yep.
on the weekends.
And we've just gotta we've gotta come up with some signage that says, one is tennis all the time. And other than reserved times for which people pay, it's first come, first served.
yeah, it's a public.
Right, the public, first
But
come,
the
first
tennis
served.
court is always open, and we never reserve that for anyone.
We haven't, because no one has wanted to do like a tennis league or like the other leagues we have.
Right. They have area tennis leagues, but they just show up and
Right.
fingers crossed that it's open.
And there were people playing tennis tonight. I went over and said, "How you doing?" "Oh, it's cool, looks great." I said, "Enjoy it."
Is it locked now?
Everybody loves it.
I couldn't lock them in.
Why not?
That wouldn't be very hospitable.
We need security people in there, okay? So they could ask
It
for
was
security
daylight.
tonight.
It was daylight, and they
Okay.
were playing tennis.
I'll lock it on the way out.
Can I just show you something, for last year's budget on, the tennis court? That's how much that was approved for the tennis courts.
23, 26?
28.
Right, but then they wiped that away.
Yeah, but you were saying 23, and I'm saying,
Oh, no, in my head, I'm sorry. I know it's in the 20s, but
yeah, that's what we appropriated or got approved for. But I don't know, do you get that money back? What
No,
happens?
that was not ever in our budget.
That's the budget.
It's not in our budget.
we,
If this is the capital plan,
Yeah.
this is the town's capital plan. Okay?
Yeah.
It's not part of our budget.
So were we putting 23 plus the 28? Is that what you're saying?
no.
No.
The 20 that's in there, I don't know what it was for.
The tw-
Joe put it in. I don't know if it was for a wishful thought on the tennis courts. Okay?
He put it in the budget, yeah.
For
That
what?
he submitted
For
to the
what?
town.
For what?
He-
You have to identify what you're putting the capital request in for.
Right, he had put that in there because he thought that's what it was gonna cost to
Okay.
fix.
Okay, that was coming out of our dime. All right, you gotta remember, there's
Yeah, right.
two different capital things here.
Right,
One is the capital plan of the town, and then there's one,
for our
we've
budget.
gotta change the name, because it's become too confusing that when we do a capital project in our budget,
Yep,
that's what the $20,000 is. That's out of our budget. This was not out of our budget, because the 50 didn't come out of our budget, came out of the town.
right. But the 28 came out of the town?
No.
It was gonna,
Okay.
So what happened was,
if this was the town's capital plan, yes.
Yeah, that's the
so,
budget.
so what happened is we used all ARPA money for that,
Yeah,
okay? And the money that we didn't use, the
Yeah.
20 in capital, is still there, which we're using for the basketball court.
okay.
That's what's happening.
Got moved.
Just
Okay.
moved, and they were happy with that.
Okay, that's the confusing part.
That's very
Because
confusing.
they're both called capital.
Yes.
And I thought it was, when he put it in the budget, I thought it was our budget for 28. And you're saying this is the
Well, it's
town's,
a different number.
yeah,
It's not the same number.
Yeah.
right, and this is what we got and what we thought we were getting last year.
But we weren't getting it. It's not part of our budget. That's not part of our budget.
You're saying it's part of the town's
Correct.
budget, and
Not
that's what
ours.
they were allowing us. They were giving us 28.
I guess, I wasn't involved in that.
Have no idea what
I
it was for.
can't tell you for sure, Paula, But I didn't think I thought the only thing that was being done was the 50,000. That's the only thing I remember being voted on, and then they voted on the other 25. They voted on the 50 to take down the haunted house.
Yeah,
That's the only thing I remember when I was at the town's budget meeting. I don't remember $28,000 for resurfacing. I know it's there.
yeah,
I'm
I
not saying
know,
it
and
isn't.
it's all over the
But-
budgets, and I'm trying to figure out, well, what happens when you don't use the 28, and
Well, you'd have to look under the town's capital plan. Mm-hmm. And if it's listed under that, then
they get it back.
No,
we don't get it back.
The town gets it back.
Yeah.
Forget that number.
But they paid for it already,
Yep,
above and beyond
yep,
the 28.
which was
So-
the ARPA, but that money, as he said, our capital budget was 20 grand. Okay? Forget that. In our budget for us, Parks Commission, we had a $20,000 capital. All right?
for the tennis courts?
No,
No,
no. It could be used for anything.
okay,
But if the tennis courts were $19,999, yes, we could have. But we knew it was going to be more money.
right,
And I asked them, well, can we use this and use half ARPA money? And they said you could, but then we got to wait till town meeting because you can't mix the two. And that's why they said we'll do the whole thing out of ARPA money. Okay,
Okay.
so they spent it out of ARPA money, but it still left us with 20 grand. We can do what we want, which we're going to do the basketball courts
Okay.
with. So that 28, don't even just
Yeah.
erase it from
now,
there.
if you got 46,000 out of ARPA money, why can't we get 50,000 for the parking lots at the two fields out of ARPA money?
We can ask.
Well, that's my job.
That's what he's going to.
That's what, at the next meeting.
We don't have it in our budget.
Right.
So the only place right now that it can come from is from there.
So there's a good chance because it fits,
It's infrastructure.
yeah, okay, so that's,
We don't know.
yeah,
Because we got 100 and we may have 50.
Right, and then we've got this other project.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be pointing at her, but
Yeah.
I'm saying this other
Right.
project, so they gotta look at it and make a decision.
yeah, all right.
Or they may say,
They may say none,
or
they
they'll
may say
say,
both.
or they'll say, put 100,000 in the capital budget for that. But then we won't be able to use it till
Yeah.
July.
Next year, right.
And I'm trying to avoid using any monies for next year as far as project, because then it's too late to do those in July, because we want to use it in the spring,
All
right?
right, that would be ideal, same as that. You don't wanna wait till July. By the time it gets done and completed, it's gonna be now.
Right.
So my
It's gonna
point
be a
is,
year.
we may not get any capital money next year if we just use ARPA, maybe just enough to do certain things.
Some small little
Some
projects.
small little projects, but if we have to put it in the capital budget, it's not gonna get done till the summer. So if we can get ARPA, then we can get it done. At least we can get the down payment put in for the playground and get this done. Yes?
Be great.
We will get it done, Paula.
No, I was just thinking it's,
No, you're right, I
there's a lot
understand.
of money, and if it's, ARPA can spend this much on tennis courts, why can't they spend that much on,
Because there's not, it has to go to different places. It's just not meant for parks.
they have to split it up?
Well, depending on projects, yeah, as he said.
And do you know how much ARPA gives?
I'm gonna get that number.
I mean, do they give 200,000 or?
From what I
50,000?
understand, listen, I actually, it's a good amount of figure, but I don't wanna throw out a number.
Yeah,
I don't want,
it's a good amount.
that's a decent amount, obviously, if we're gonna get this stuff done, but
Yeah.
that's up to the selectmen.
Okay,
All right, so at our next meeting, we've gotta have better numbers so that we can.
Yep, and go forward.
Okay. All right, so we've all gotta, Melissa's gotta kind of fine tune that a little bit. I've gotta do a lot of fine tuning if I can get these guys to give me some numbers, but I think if I can get a rough estimate of the square footage with that tool, that'll help at least get the bid from Logan. And maybe if I can do that, it'll help get the bid from.
Well, it's gonna help me tremendously on that if we get a final figure.
Oh, I agree. No, I know.
I hate to go there and say, well, I don't know.
No, I know. No, I know, right? Because then they're gonna go, well, if you don't know, let's go on to the next project. I understand that.
Right.
You know, so that's why you've got to fine tune yours a little bit. What you want, what you think is good. and we'll try and fine tune this a little bit, and so that we can give you better numbers to present.
Okay.
Okay,
I make a motion to adjourn.
to adjourn to our next meeting, the 20th. Am I
I won't
correct?
be here, but I don't expect I'll be here, no.
Just before you,
Because that was going to be our regular meeting, and we threw this one in
Yeah,
because we thought we had to work on the budget.
But we need to do it anyway.
I know, we needed to do this,
Right.
this part of the budget.
yeah. Takes some.
well, everyone's here, and I think it would fall into the any other business category.
Mm-hmm.
Sent the email that I got to you from
I'll go to the class. Yeah.
about the energy audit.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And so basically the question she's asking is, what would be the reason for the very significant increase in the electricity usage at John Pond from 2021 to 2022? If we had any idea what that would be.
We got
Well-
lights.
One, they weren't playing nighttime games in 21. They played very few,
And they've extended their season.
and they've extended the season to where they are definitely playing in the dark last year. So they had to use the lights. The other thing is, there's more than one utility down there. So they're throwing this huge increase. Is it the lights? Is it the snack
Snack bar.
stand?
Can be anything.
I mean, did they leave 2 refrigerators on all winter? I mean, it's gonna suck energy. I was looking at it and I'm like, I can't give a concrete answer as
I don't
to
think
as to
that's
what
it.
But I mean,
Yeah.
definitely a big portion of it is the lack of play during COVID.
Yeah, I mean, there weren't really many teams playing down there, were there? Because they couldn't gather.
In the beginning, right? I mean, in the first part of it,
So they,
there was nothing.
Freetown Lakeville,
That's really all they're looking for, just some.
Did the price go up for the,
Well,
for the
but
bill?
it went
electric
from a
bill
couple
went up.
hundred units to over 1,000.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
I mean,
up by a
It was
About
about
huge.
1,000%.
1087.
But I think what happened was that the 2 prior years you're looking at were COVID years.
Right.
Okay, that would explain it. Did you say something about the lights weren't there? Or-
No, the lights were there. They just weren't being used.
Okay.
yeah,
They weren't being used because they weren't playing. They were playing, but it was very very sparse. Because in the beginning you couldn't even play adult sports.
right.
Well, it's almost like the Little League fields. I mean, it's hardly been used, those lights.
Yeah, I mean,
In the
this
old
year-
days, they were
this-
used 7 days a week,
Right.
but
And,
now,
and this year they used it more than last year.
right.
Last year they hardly used it at all.
But not like they used to. here.
No. I mean, we used to have that.
Plus just the fact that Freetown Lakeville softball have many more players and they extended their season.
Right, but they don't play a lot of night games.
No, but they were playing a lot of weekends. I don't know how much electricity they used on the weekends. And then the blooper bowl, I think they extended too, didn't they?
Well, the men. I mean, the co-ed.
Yeah,
The co-ed did. The women use the lights very sparingly.
yeah, well, if, their season's over, I think.
Oh, their season's been
Yeah.
over since 3rd week in August.
Yeah,
It's a
so,
summertime season.
right,
It's after the kids get out of school, or right about when the kids are getting out of school, middle of June to like the 3rd week in August. It's
Yeah.
eight and a half weeks.
The end of-
They
yeah.
have the shortest season of any group we have.
and then, but the co-ed was extended.
Yeah, it was extended, and they were playing night games.
Yes,
Questions answered.
Yeah, but now there were a couple other questions. We had other situations, and one had to do with the lodge. The lodge was very high. The lodge jumped.
Yeah, she said she already contacted Boston Tavern about that, so she doesn't.
Yeah, I mean,
She just.
Well, if
she
they're
was-
busier.
their lights are on all the time. There's
Yeah.
nobody there, and the lights are on.
But she just wanted to want John Paul.
Yeah.
That's all she was asking for.
Oh, that's the only one?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought because there was another one that was up too.
Yes, there was, but she said she talked to
Okay.
Boston Tavern. She talked to Heather or someone
Okay.
about that.
That would be you went from 2 years of COVID with
Well,
very little play to a full season of them playing
Right.
into October, and all their games were under the lights.
And then the
Good.
snack bar was used, right?
snack
That
bar
hadn't
was
been
running.
used for
yep,
Yeah.
that's
Right.
fine.
fridges
That's
full a
all-
lot.
Yeah.
that's all the info.
Okay, so it's just John Pond that was the question. When I got, because she sent it to me too, and I was under the impression they wanted, but she's already talked to her. Okay, great, great.
So
Hey,
let me,
You
Mike,
wanted to know
let me
about going to that
know.
class? I think that'd be great.
Mike,
Yeah.
let me know if,
As soon as I know.
Probably should,
If-
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll call
that
you
he's gonna,
first.
That's on
he's
our
gonna
dime.
meet with them because
Yeah.
I think
I wanna
it's
be
great.
there because this
No
is.
problem.
I mean, the time,
I will
time
let you know.
is on our dime.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna leave this stuff in there for Mike.
Okay.
It's for John Pond.
Yeah, Paula, he was supposed to assist you in transition. It wasn't dumping it on Mike. That's what I said. I wanted him to work with you this year,
Oh,
and then see if he wanted to take it next year, because someone's got to take it next year.
well, he was going down there all
Yeah,
the
because
time.
he lives
so-
right there.
Yeah, so
He
when
lives right by.
the bathrooms, I said this is a good time for him to call Flowmaster.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
blah, blah,
no,
blah. Is that okay?
No, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. But
You want
the
me to
impression
stay
he was
in?
getting was he was getting dumped on. That's all.
I'm the one that was dumped on. I did the scut work. I'm telling you, it was chasing these people around, which reminds me, we should not get a bill from Wind Waste for $140 for Clear Pond. And I had talked to Peter
should
about
not?
it. I spoke with customer service and I had a conversation about my having to go down there 3 times.
Oh, right. I remember
And
you.
he said that they would not charge me, but he doesn't remember getting any bills from them, so I don't know where they're going. I don't know where the bills are going. I just wanted to
No, I know.
tell him, don't,
Oh, that's the other thing.
Oh, I'm gonna die here.
I heard you.
Well, obviously you didn't.
I did. When the money came in for, it should have come in by now, and that would have been for the triathlon event. That was in August.
Okay.
Because,
From whom?
well, it's gonna come, it got paid to Boston Tavern.
Yes.
But there's 2 pieces to that, and one is a per person fee, which is ours. That's for the use of the camp.
Okay.
It's not that they get it all and we get a percentage of that. We get a percentage of the food and the drink, but that is a fee that I negotiated, and that's $7.50 per person should come directly to us
for,
for the
Participation.
triathlon. It was like we charge
Oh, the
$20. We charge you
triathlon.
$20
Yeah.
to play horseshoes.
yeah,
Well, we charge them $7.50 a person.
yeah,
And then if they have food, that's with Boston Tavern, and if they have a bar, that's with Boston Tavern.
okay,
But in lieu of charging to rent the park,
Mm-hmm.
we just do a fee of $7.50, and we increased that a couple of years ago when we increased everybody.
So you're gonna have to have town hall, know that, not town hall. Because they're the ones who collect the money, right?
Well, but they give us. Are you getting?
Wait, you talk about the money
Recaps?
that the Boston Tavern sends? Yes, I'm getting them, but there's some that are missing, and because she says she's waiting on someone who did an event there who has been in arrears on paying.
Oh, I didn't think they let them have an event without paying.
I guess.
They usually pay 8 days before, in full
Okay.
before the
But-
event. But
All right. So if you could just check on the paperwork on the triathlon
Okay.
one, because we should get the whole
The,
thing.
the whole,
Per person fee, 100. There's 600
Yeah.
600 and something participants. $7.50 a pop. That's over $4,000.
it's huge.
Not a percentage of $4,000.
600 participants?
It was over 600 participants. I was here.
So like 4,600.
Right. And we shouldn't be getting a percentage
10%
of
of that, all of it.
Right. We shouldn't be getting the 12% of that. We should be getting the whole thing, and then we get 12% of the food and 12% of the bar. But that one we should be getting the whole thing.
Right.
I just want to make sure we
I
do.
thought we were getting 14%.
I believe the contract's 12%, but I could be wrong.
No, I don't know why I heard
Contracts in there, by the way.
14%.
Yeah. Okay, so we are looking to our regularly scheduled meeting October 20th at 7 p.m. Okay,
Excuse me.
Can you send out reminders too?
yeah, it's a good
Please,
thing.
please.
I mean,
How
I put it-
frequently would you like them, Mike?
I put it in my phone, but then again, I
can do
didn't
it.
have these two worked out. So, that being said, is there any other business that needs to come before the commission? None being heard, we have picked a date, which we had scheduled last time, October 20th at 7 PM. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting
I make a motion to adjourn.
at
Second,
8:32.
a second.
All those in favor, please raise your
Aye.
hand. All those opposed? None being shown. A unanimous decision to adjourn this meeting at 8:32 PM. Thank you.